The mother-in-law was shocked, because I never ate meat. Yet today, I unexpectedly prepared meat dumplings for them. Someone else might not think much of it, but she who always watched her son abuse me without intervening felt a sudden guilt, suspecting my husband had finally forced me into obedience. Then she noticed. The pork filling in her mouth was unusually loose. She asked why the meat tasted strange. I hurried to explain that the pig had just been slaughtered, so the texture was different from frozen meat. Seeing I was suddenly more obedient, she didn't question further, and instead mocked that I should have learned to serve them earlier, instead of needing beatings to behave. My eyes flashed uneasily. The father-in-law suddenly felt alarmed, and asked if my husband had been gone for days. Receiving confirmation, he tried to call him, but the mother-in-law snatched the phone, scolding him not to disturb my husband, saying maybe when he returned, they could finally hold a grandson. I asked angrily, "So now they don't even hide things in front of me," she sneered, saying I was a divorced woman with a deaf and mute child, unable to give them a son. So I shouldn't blame my husband for having babies elsewhere. Rage surged inside me. I sadly spoke of my 7 years of suffering, but she only said it was what I should endure, then shouted for me to leave dumplings for my husband, never noticing the sly glint in my eyes. At that moment, my daughter returned from school. When she picked up chopsticks to eat, I stopped her, and that made the father-in-law even more suspicious. He whispered that I always let my daughter eat first. So what if I poisoned the dumplings? To calm him, I said there was cilantro inside, and my daughter hated it. Before he could be convinced, the television played a scene of human meat buns, thinking of my abnormal behavior today, and knowing how the whole family mistreated me. The father-in-law panicked. He dragged his wife aside, calling her a fool, and demanded she call the police. My clever daughter had already guessed what happened, and worried about what I would do next. But I only smiled, because even calling the police was part of my plan. If all went smoothly, I could clear all suspicion, and they would dispose of the body for me. Soon the in-laws arrived at the police station, frantic and rambling that I had minced their son into dumplings, listing every abnormal detail about me today. I put on an act, denying everything in fear. Soon the lab result came back. The dumpling meat was not pork. One sentence seemed to confirm my guilt. The mother-in-law shoved me, ordering me to admit the truth. So I stopped pretending, and my eyes filled with hatred. 8 years ago, my former husband died in a car accident. The insurance company stalled his compensation. I struggled to survive with my deaf-mute daughter. Then my current husband appeared. He was the insurance claims officer. At my lowest moment, he helped me. He got the compensation money and said he would care for my daughter with me. But after marriage, he removed his mask, lazy, violent. He even stole the $20,000 I saved for my daughter's surgery. From that day on, I was beaten almost daily, and the in-laws always watched coldly. I wanted to divorce, but a man like him would never allow it. I cried as I spoke. Everyone pitied me. No one noticed the cold smile at the corner of my lips. It was exactly what I wanted. Then the forensic officer announced the truth. The filling was not what they believed. It was only rat meat. The in-laws nearly vomited on the floor and hit me in front of everyone. When the policewoman saw bruises on my arms, her sympathy grew. The in-laws tried to use this to send me to prison, but the only reply was, "This is a minor family dispute." The in-laws were furious, but relieved, thinking maybe their son was with another woman, but only I knew. Their son was lying in the freezer,